Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming out to the first of what is going to be a twice monthly series of webinars, really kind of designed to help naturopathic doctors and holistic health professionals with kind of general internet marketing stuff. And really, I'm kind of using these as an opportunity to answer questions that I get a lot of the time in the course of what I do. So this is kind of an easy way for me to reach out to as many people as possible and really try to create as much value and help everybody do super well online, because that is, of course, my goal. So if you have any questions, or if for whatever reason you aren't getting audio or you can't see the screen, you can just let me know. I'm just going to pop into this thing right now. Everything looks okay, so we should be good. Again, just feel free to let me know if you have any issues. So let's get right into it. This first webinar is going to be one of a couple, and it's entitled Everything You Wanted to Know About Email Marketing But Were Afraid to Ask. And I'm pretty sure everybody here knows who I am, but just in case you don't, my name is Dan. I run a company that's called Marketing Naturally, and Marketing Naturally is really about helping, like I said, naturopathic doctors, holistic health professionals, massage therapists, chiropractors, get in touch with more of their ideal patients online. That's what I do, that's what I help people do, and it's pretty fun. You may know me as well from my other company, which is called Two Friendly Nerds, which is really about web design and internet marketing right here in Connecticut. I work almost entirely with people in my area. I kind of work with them very closely. So that's what I do, if you're unfamiliar with that. But let's get right into the information that I think you're here for, which is really kind of understanding email marketing and learning how to do it well and efficiently. So what's the deal with internet marketing? That's kind of or email marketing rather. That's kind of the overall topic. And I want to be clear right off the bat that I think email marketing is awesome. I'm a huge booster for this kind of approach. And I think that more often than not, email marketing is going to have a big place in building a kind of really effective marketing funnel for you and your business. I just want to just check real quick, make sure everything is working. Yep, everything's working. All right. So, um, but it's easy for me to say that. It's easy for me to say that email marketing is awesome, but why do I think that? Because there's a lot of stuff out there, especially for marketing yourself online. A lot of really easy ways to waste time and money. So what makes email marketing so cool? Well, one of the things that I love about email lists is that it can be automated. I am a huge believer in success for small businesses, not just being the pure amount of money or the number of clients you get, right? Like I could give you, let's say I get you 150 new clients tomorrow. Now, that might be awesome for you, and I'm sure you'd be making more money, but you wouldn't have any time left, right? Your entire day from morning till the time you go to bed is going to be spent dealing with those clients. And even though that's success to some people, it's not success for me. Any part of my business that I can automate, that I can outsource, that I can make so that it doesn't take as much of my time, that's what I'm really interested in. And email marketing is perfect for this. It is very easily automated. It's automated how you get new clients into your funnel. It can be automated when you email them. It can be automated when you offer things to them. It's extremely efficient that way. Another reason that I love email marketing is that it provides an opportunity to show your authority. A major part of how people are going to perceive you is the kind of information and value that you can provide for them, right? If you can show them consistently that you know your field, that you're comfortable with the more technical aspects of what you do, that you're comfortable with answering their questions, that you're comfortable with covering a wide range of topics, they're going to see you as an authority in what you do, and they're going to come to trust what you say, right? Trust is such a huge part of marketing. if you haven't built that trust, you haven't built that authority, it's just a lot harder to get people to come to you to, use your services or to buy a product, etc. So email is a great way to do that because people read email. The other thing is that email lists put you on what's called the continual top of mind. Top of mind awareness is this idea. It's basically like if someone's, let's say someone's in the car, they're going to see a movie with a friend, and the friend kind of turns to them and says, "Hey, do you know any doctors? I've been having these allergies, and it's kind of a real problem. I think I'm going to go see someone. Do you know anybody?" The first thing they think of, that first person that they think of, that person has top of mind awareness for them, right? I just right off the top of my head, I could tell you one doctor that I know that I really like because I'm on their email list, right? Email kind of continuously puts you in a non-intrusive way right in front of someone. It's like a little reminder, like, hey, here I am. Hey, here's what I do. Hey, this is how good I am. Hey, I'm an authority. So having that top of mind awareness is extremely valuable, because that's going to be a huge source of referrals, word of mouth, all that stuff. So having something that puts you on a continual top of mind basis for a lot of people, that's amazing. So email lists are great for that. And of course, the last thing that I really like about email is that, emails, if they're done right, really can represent you and your values and how you do business. I'm a big believer in you need to personalize your marketing. Your marketing has to represent your personality, right? It's got to represent you. The more kind of generic you get, the more general you get, the worse it is, the less effective it is, right? But if you have a personality, you have things that make you you, well, you need to put those things in your email because people are going to respond to that. They become more personally connected with you, and that's extremely valuable as well. Here's another thing. You can tailor your message to different groups of patients or clients, right? So you could, for example, only send emails to clients that you've gotten within the last year, or only send emails to clients that you've gotten 5 years ago, or only send emails to your massage clients rather than your acupuncture clients. Whatever it is, you can tailor your message to different groups, which allows you to more directly speak to that group's needs and wants, right? So it's an extremely effective way of talking with someone if you can say like, hey, this isn't just a general email, right? It's an email to you. It's an email to someone who has your issues, and that's what I'm going to talk about. And here's the last one. I kind of mentioned it before, but people open their email. This is something that we don't really even think about, but there's a classic image that people talk about in marketing, which is the person who's opening their mail, their snail mail, their physical mail, right over the trash can, right? I think we all kind of do some version of this. You kind of flip it through the mail, and you're like, okay, this is a bill. You put it on the side, and you're like, junk, throw it in the trash. Junk, throw it in the trash. Bill, put it to the right. Junk, throw it to the trash. People actually open emails, right? It's very hard to do the kind of direct mail thing with physical mail, but actually people are interested in emails. When people are reading their email, they tend to be more relaxed, they tend to read longer. It's just logistically much more effective. And of course, it costs a million% less. And math is not my thing, but it costs a lot less than to do direct mail. So it's really effective and it's really efficient. So email lists are extremely efficient ways of increasing sales in the long term. And I put that last part in bold because I wanted to just emphasize it a little bit. This is a long-term sales method. It's something that the sooner you start, the better off you're going to be. And that's because you are going to build a kind of back catalog of value in articles that you can use in multiple different ways, information you can send people. You're going to be able to reuse that over and over and over, send people through that same system over and over and over. So over time, your sales are going to increase while the amount of time you actually spend on it decreases. So they're extremely efficient in that way. But here's another question that I constantly get, or not constantly, but I often get is, I get all that, email's great, it's efficient, but do I really need one? And I'm not going to go out there and say that everybody needs an email list. And in fact, for some clients, email lists can be, I wouldn't say they're a waste of time, but they can be probably not the optimal way of spending your time, your marketing time. So, do you need one? Well, let's kind of talk about it. There's something I have. It's called Barrett's Law of Marketing. You can tell I'm so humble. I named it after myself. Barrett's Law of Marketing is that you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. There is no marketing method out there that is so critical that you have to do it. I really honestly believe that. The only thing you have to do in business is do a good job. Everything else is a question of the cost versus the benefit. The cost in money, the cost in time, the cost in effort, and the benefit in terms of what you get out of it, right? So you don't have to do anything, and email list falls into this category. You don't have to have an email list, but email lists are often a really good choice. So here's some questions you can kind of ask yourself. Do you like writing, right? You have to write to have an email list. There's no way around it. You don't have to write a lot, and I'm not saying you have to write huge articles every week and you have to, do all this crazy stuff. But I think you do have to like writing, or at least like it enough, because if you're really against expressing yourself this way, it's going to come across even if you force yourself to do it. So ask yourself if you like writing. Another thing to ask yourself is, can you be consistent? And by consistent, I don't mean every week, I don't mean every day. I mean, you picked a schedule and you stick to it, right? Like for me, for these webinars, my schedule is twice monthly because that's what I can handle in terms of putting together something that's really valuable. So pick that. I decided that I could stick to that schedule and I'm going to stick to it. So can you be consistent? Now, actually, that's easier than it sounds for email, because you can actually write, let's say you got a free day, you could write 5 emails in a row and then automate it out so that they send out automatically once a week. So now you've got 5 weeks all set. So it's actually easier than it sounds to be really consistent with email lists, which is another thing that's great about it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a later webinar. I'm going to get into the technical aspects of automating your email marketing. But just kind of ask yourself, if you pick a schedule, do you have enough time to stick to it? And it can be whatever schedule you want. And then the other thing I usually ask is education one of the goals of your business, right? Like, I got into this business obviously to make money, but I also got into this business because I really wanted to help people do better with their online marketing, right? I'm really passionate about that, and I want them to be passionate about it too. And so even when I do services for my clients, or someone hires me to build a website, or they hire me for consulting or whatever, my goal is that beyond just what I am doing for them, I'm also going to educate them so they can do a higher percentage of that stuff themselves, right? I want people to be in control of their marketing, their business. So, for a lot of holistic health professionals, education is a big part of what they do as well, right? You don't want, it's the old, give a man a fish versus teach him to fish. And I think that if education is something you're passionate about and you think that your clients or your patients could benefit from it, that's a good sign that email marketing is going to be a good fit for you, because it's a fantastic channel to educate people with. And so if these questions resonate with you, if you think that they sound good, if you think this all sounds pretty cool, then email lists are a great fit. And I really think that email lists have a place in people's marketing strategies more often than not. And I'd estimate probably that like 75% of the time, you could really benefit your business from sort of investing some time in learning about this strategy. So you can ask yourself those questions and see where you fall. So let's say that you want an email list, which I hope you do. I hope a lot of you are sort of nodding your heads at those questions that I just talked about. So how do you get one, right? Where do you go? How do you get one? What do I recommend? Well, I have some very specific recommendations. I recommend MailChimp.com. There's a picture of the website right there. I really like this company. I don't make any money for referring you or anything. I just think they are doing the best job. There's obviously a couple different big mailing list companies out there, but I really like MailChimp, and I very strongly recommend them. I recommend them for a couple of different reasons. One, it's cheap. It's free for people under 2,000 subscribers. And for almost everyone I've worked with, especially in the beginning, that's going to be the case. So it's cheap. Even when you bump up against the free limit, I think it starts at 25 bucks a month. It goes up to 50. It's extremely affordable for the amount of value that that tool produces. It's got great design tools, right? It's really their pre-made templates are really nice looking. It's easy to use if you want to design your own. You can pick a template and edit it. They have a drag and drop editor that they just rolled out this year that's really nice. So they make it really easy to get something that looks good. And that's why I like MailChimp. I really, really like them. I can't stress that enough. They're a good company. So here's the anti-referral. I don't like Constant Contact. And people ask me about Constant Contact all the time. They do a lot of marketing, and a lot of my clients have mailing lists with them. I just don't like them. I don't like the way that the site is set up. I find it to be hard to use. I find a lot of the really important features that they have are hard to find. I'm not a big fan. Now, if you have a Constant Contact account, it's not a big deal. It's not like it's ruining your business. You can still do an awesome mailing list with Constant Contact, but they're not my preference. You can actually export your people from Constant Contact into MailChimp. So if you're curious about that, you can kind of let me know. But in general, I'm not a huge fan. Now, your other option for getting a mailing list is self-hosted software, which essentially you can install wherever you host your website. And this is really the best option if you're technically savvy, but also if you have a lot of subscribers. And I'm talking like a ton of subscribers, because, at that point, you might be paying too much monthly to a company like MailChimp. Like, let's say you have 10,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. At that point, you might want to look into hosting yourself. I personally find it to be technically difficult enough that the cost outweighs the benefits for all but the largest mailing lists. So that's where I come down on where you get that stuff. I obviously have a pretty strong opinion. You don't have to listen to me. You can try out the other companies. There's iContact. There is a couple different new ones that came out, but I really like MailChimp, and I recommend them to my clients. So you can check that out. If you're interested, you can use this code for MailChimp to sign up. It's totally free. Or you could just go to MailChimp.com. This is a little link. Basically, it tells them that I sent you. But like I said, I don't make any money. I only refer things that I use personally anyway. So if you're trying to write down the link, don't worry about it. I'm going to put a recording of this webinar and all the slides and stuff online on the Marketing Naturally blog. Probably in a couple days, so you can always come back and check that out. But yeah, MailChimp, it's the way to go, I think. So here's something that I always cover when I start talking about new subjects in marketing. And it's something that I always ask myself whenever I'm learning about anything new. And it's, what are the big mistakes that people make? Right? I love when I can learn from other people's mistakes, because that means I don't have to go through the trouble of making those mistakes myself, right? So what are the big mistakes that people make when they are email marketing, right? What are the stumbling blocks that they hit on? And I see actually these all the time. This is from my personal experience. So it is something that I think really is going to apply to everyone that's watching this webinar. So the first one is getting frustrated, and this is a big one. And I mentioned this earlier, but email marketing is playing the long game, right? It's not a fast method of driving sales, right? If you needed to drive sales right this moment, I'd say let's look into online advertising, right? But email marketing is the long game. You're bringing people into your audience. You're telling them how authoritative you are. You're demonstrating your expertise. You're doing this whole kind of thing. And It's extremely effective, more effective than almost any other kind of marketing in terms of just sheer numbers. But it takes time to get there. And a lot of people get frustrated. They say, no one's signing up for my email list. I emailed, but no one ordered my thing. No one bought my product, and they just get frustrated and they shut it down, or they fall off their schedule. I'm telling you that you got to know that it's going to happen. You got to be aware of it, and you got to account for it, right? You just got to stay the course. I promise it pays off in the end. Another thing is not having a sign up offer, right? A sign up offer is basically it's a little thing that you send someone in thanks for signing up for your email list, right? And you want to try to give away something of value. A real common one is sending an ebook or a PDF. I've seen people send over little guides to certain subjects they're doing, or even access to a webinar like this one, or maybe a library of videos. But it's something that is of value. And it's extremely important to do one of these because, most of us today are a little wary of giving away our email, especially in the beginning of the relationship, which is usually when someone's going to sign up for your mailing list, right? So they don't really know you yet. They don't really know if you're just going to spam them all the time or if you're going to constantly kind of try to sell them stuff. So they need an incentive to sign up. And this is a perfect way to start your relationship with someone, right? If you give them something of incredible value right off the bat, something for free, they're going to sit back and they're going to think, first of all, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. But two, they're going to think, wow, if this is their free stuff, I wonder what their paid products are actually like. I wonder what actually going in for an appointment is going to be like, right? So this is a really great time to start off the relationship on a good, on the right foot. And it really helps to drive email subscriptions, which is going to be your goal early on in the process. So make sure you have some idea what a sign up offer can be for your target market, your ideal patient or client. The other problem that I see a lot of times is people breaking the golden rule of email marketing. The golden rule of email marketing says your emails need to be 80% about them, 20% about you. How this usually breaks down for me is, if I look at a series of 10 emails, 8 of those emails should be only high quality information. No sales pitch, no information about, you hired a new person in your office, no information about updates on the site or whatever, unless those are also really high quality information. It's got to be 80% about them and only 20% about you. So out of that series of 10 emails, maybe only 2 of those mention a product or try to drive someone to another part of your sales funnel, whatever it is. And this is extremely important because if you break this rule, what you will start to see is people unsubscribing. And when you unsubscribe, someone unsubscribes, you've lost that chance to turn that relationship from this kind of really simple email relationship into a client or a patient relationship. And that's the whole goal of the email list, right? So I usually say in things like this, you want to over deliver. You want to keep giving value and keep giving valuable information and keep giving awesome stuff until the point where you think you've given too much and then just keep at it. You know what I mean? You really want to blow people away with the quality of what you send them. Because then when you turn around and you say, okay, hey guys, I have this product, I wrote this book, I'm putting out this supplement, I have a spot open for a new client, then you will have earned the trust and built that relationship. Your sales percentages are going to be way up. So it's important to do the work right off the bat, early on in the relationship. Another problem is not watching the data. And I always say that basically one of the rules of all internet marketing is to try and improve your numbers over time. Now, I don't mean that you have to get super crazy and super intense on math and look at spreadsheets all day about your email list. That's not what I'm talking about. But any of the email marketing companies you go to will be able to give you certain kind of statistics about your site, right? They'll be able to tell you how many people signed up for your list. They'll be able to tell you how many people opened the email that you sent. They'll be able to tell you how many people clicked on a link and what link they clicked on. And by looking at those numbers, you can start to see certain trends, and you can try to manipulate those trends in order to improve those numbers. So for example, try sending your emails at different times of day, right? If you're trying to get in contact with, let's say your ideal client is, they're high-powered CEOs or something like that, you might want to try sending your emails at 5:30, right? Because then they're actually going to be home. You may want to try sending it in the morning. Maybe you send it at 4 in the morning before you think anyone's up. So it's right in their email box, the first thing they look at when they get in the office. I don't know, but you can experiment with these things, experiment with different headlines, experiment with different layouts, and see which ones improve your numbers. And doing that just a little bit at a time over a long period of time is going to have a huge effect on your business. It really does. These little tweaks really do make a difference. So it's something to think about. So we're at 12:27, so we're coming down towards the end, but I did want to go over just real quick like what we covered today, right? And like I said, this is the first of a couple different webinars I'm going to do on email marketing. But today we covered what makes email lists great and why I think they're awesome. We covered how to tell if you need an email list, right? How to tell if an email list is the right marketing method for you. We talked about the best places to get an email list, and I told you the company that I recommend as well as the company I don't recommend. And we talked about the 4 big mistakes that people make. If you can avoid those 4 mistakes, you're going to be head and shoulders above your competition, I can almost guarantee. So that brings us to the end of the webinar. So here's what you can do next. Next webinar is going to be about designing an effective sales cycle for your email list. Like I said, I'm doing these webinars about every 2 weeks. If you're not on the official email list right now and you got invited personally by me, you can sign up for the mailing list at marketingnaturally.com. All I send out is these invitations. You're not going to get a bunch of spam from me or anything. Remember, I talked about the 80-20 rule, so I definitely follow it on my own mailing list. But then also, I just put up a blog post this week. I would love if you could check it out. It's kind of specifically targeting naturopathic doctors, but it would literally be a huge help to anybody with a website. And the blog post is called The Big Mistake That NDs Make on Their Websites and How to Fix It. You can find it at marketingnaturally.com/blog. I would love if you could comment. If you had any questions, you can email me. Just let me know. But I really want everyone to read it. It's a little lengthy. It's weighty. It's got a lot of stuff in it. But I think it'll be a huge help to you guys who have websites up right now and are using them to try to get in touch with new clients. And this is my contact information. As always, you can contact me with any questions, comments, hopes, fears, dreams, wishes, worries, regrets, sorrows, anything. Tell me your weird dreams, whatever you want. It's dan@marketingnaturally.com. That's my phone number there is 860-532-0251. So what I wanted to do now is we don't have a whole ton of time, but I did want to take questions. So if you have a question right now, you can pop it into the little chat window and just kind of let me know if you have anything there that you are curious about. Other than that, I had a question sent to me over email. So if no one's going to pop a question in there, I will just answer the email question and that'll be fun. Doesn't look right now like anyone's got any questions in the chat window. So I'm going to go with the email question. So this email question was mailed to me last week as someone who couldn't be in the webinar today, but they were curious if I could answer it. And they wanted to know what are the best ways that they can increase email signups, right? How can you increase email subscription numbers? So they have a mailing list, it's been up, but they're not really getting people on it. And that's an awesome question. It's actually a huge topic. So what I'm going to do is give you just a couple quick tips that you can use to try to increase sign-up rates. And then maybe we'll cover this a little more in-depth in a different webinar because I think it would actually benefit from a deeper sort of approach. But okay, so what I would say is number one is nailing down your offer. Like what I mentioned earlier before, the sign-up offer. This has a huge effect on how people view the mailing list and also how many people sign up for So what I usually say is that, even before you get your email list going, think about what awesome thing you can offer people. I've seen people do ebooks, videos. I've seen people do free consultations. So maybe you get a 15-minute phone consultation. I've seen people do free chapters from books they've written. You could run a little email class, set it up so that they get automatic emails once a day for about a week. Um, and kind of cover a topic. So let's say you're a naturopathic doctor and you are treating allergies. Maybe you can send them, it's a free little email course on the top 3 ways that you can beat your allergies naturally. Whatever you want to do, whatever it makes sense for you and your business. Um, let's say you are an acupuncturist, right? Maybe you could someone could sign up for your mailing list and you can mail them a questionnaire. And the point of the questionnaire is that they're going to fill it out, they're going to get it back to you, and you're going to send them a personalized acupressure regimen based on the questions that they answered in that email. That's going to allow them to feel better in only 5 minutes a day. Whatever it is, something that makes sense for you. Just make sure that that offer is amazing. I've got to want to sign up for it so bad. You know what I mean? Because it's, like I said, it's going to be your first serious contact with most of these people. So it's really an opportunity to blow them away, really demonstrate your authority. Other ways you can increase subscriptions is, of course, you want to make sure that your offer is prominent on your website. And I usually say the offer should be pretty much the first thing someone notices, right? Because the email list is such a valuable place for them to be for you, because it essentially allows you to keep in contact with them. Whereas if someone comes to your website and they just leave, you don't really have any ability to get that person back. They may come back, they may not, they may call you, they may not. Having them in the email list gives you a little bit more control with how the relationship unfolds. So make sure that offer is prominent. Make sure it's on every single page of the site. The common place to put it is the top right of the sidebar of the site. If you've got a website that uses something like WordPress, you can pop something in there pretty easily. And that's a great place to put it. You just want to be sure that they see it over and over and over again. I wouldn't do like pop-up window unnecessarily, or you don't want to bash them over the head with it, but you do want them to have multiple chances to sign up for your mailing list, no matter where they go on your site, right? You don't want to hide it off on its own page. You want to be sure that it's always showing up. The other thing that I would say about increasing subscriptions is to think about ways that you can get people to sign up that aren't just straight on your website. So, for example, I bring up my mailing list when I go to Chamber of Commerce networking events, right? I have a mailing list that's specifically for people that I meet from the Chamber of Commerce, because I'm fairly active in the Chamber of Commerce in my town. And I say, when I'm talking to someone and I think they're a good fit, I say, that's really interesting. You have this holistic practice. You know, I actually offer these weekly webinars, and I would love to invite you. I think you would have some great feedback, and it would be really great for you. Do you mind if I add you to the mailing list, or can I get a card and I'll add you? I'll invite you via email. And so, I'm kind of reaching out in person to people. And people are very likely to stick around when you do that. You can put a subscription link right in the footer of your regular emails, right? You could put a little description of your offer on your business card. There's a million different things you could do. But you want to be sure that you're trying to be creative and that you are offering that. Just get in the habit of offering it as often as possible, because that consistency is what's going to really drive signups over time. And then the other thing is that as you grow your audience, even if it's slow to start, as you grow your audience and provide all this awesome value, people are going to start recommending you just organically. And that's obviously the best way that you can do it. So really focus on those kind of 3 major issues: having a great sign up offer, having a prominent and consistent place you offer that on your website, and then being creative with how you invite people to the list, and then just keep it up. You know what I mean? Stay the course. It's going to really pay off dividends a huge amount down the road, and it's going to be awesome for you and your business. So, guys, thank you so much. This was the first webinar, and I hope you enjoyed it. Next week we'll be off, but we'll be coming back the week after with a new webinar getting into sales cycles inside email lists. Again, if you have any specific questions, please email me at marketingnaturally.com or pop your question into that chat box and I'll be sure to get to it next week. And thanks a lot. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.